Hi, I'm Ada Wells, and welcome back to the ProBalance PT channel. I'm a physical therapist and certified Pilates instructor here at ProBalance in Alameda, California. And today's segment, we're going to talk a little bit about the Pilates apparatus. And I wanted to demystify some of the pieces because sometimes it can look a little bit intimidating when you approach a studio. And these are some pieces that you may or may not have seen before. So let's start today. Today is going to be the trapeze table. I call it the trap table for short. Or the Cadillac is sometimes what you will hear it referred to as. This right here is the trap table or Cadillac. And basically it's a plinth that's got these 4 bars, little places where we can attach springs for either resistance or assistance depending on the exercise that we're performing. There's something called the tower bar, which is right here, which is basically allows us to do some other exercises where we can integrate the extremities. And there's also a trapeze, hence the name trapeze table, that can actually attach on the slider bar here and allow for some different exercises. So this essentially is the trap table. Now, you might ask, what on earth would you ever do on this thing? Well, let me just give you a couple of quick examples just to demystify it a little bit for you. So first of all, I talked about this tower bar here. Now this tower bar is great because I can actually use this as a way to work on some flexibility, on a way to work on some shoulder girdle strengthening or organization. So let me give you an example here. I'm going to remove these other springs just to get them out of the way. Sometimes the management of the springs can be as timely as the exercise itself. All right, so for example, there's an exercise called the kneeling cat, and what's great about it is we're using the sprung bar here to work on articulation and movement through the spine with control. And so notice how this looks like I'm moving pretty easily, and it does take a fair amount of control, but it's a wonderful stretch. I'm going to enjoy it while I'm out here. And then from here I can take a breath in, exhale, roll back up, and really enjoy this lovely stretch. What's fabulous with this, I use this with a lot of my golfers. We'll do the same little exercise with a rotational twist to it. So we're going to peel down, and here I can once again just get this great opening stretch on the right side of my upper body, and then I can roll right back up. So that would be an example of an exercise where we're using the tower bar. Now, these other springs that we had up here earlier, I talked about how this can be used as assistance or resistance. Well, let's say, for example, somebody has some pretty severe back pain, and it's really difficult for them to get down on the floor or do any exercises. Well, the nice thing is this essentially is a raised mat. So with that in mind, I don't have to get them crawling up and down. I can also utilize these springs to assist and give them a feeling of floating. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll place some of these heavier springs on this slider bar. There's a slider bar that goes horizontal and one that goes vertical. And I can actually place the person's legs and assist them in doing so in here. And now I can really focus on just maintaining this neutral spine position, and my legs are just being supported and floating. So I can work on moving them. And oftentimes when we have low back pain, there's a tendency to grip around the hip flexors and the whole hip area. That will add to some of the pain. So for me to be able to work on, hey, I'm going to stabilize the pelvis, but I'm not going to have all this excessive gripping in the hips, that really allows the back to relax and actually to restore some more normal movements. So I sometimes will attach some other springs here. We can do some reciprocal motions. Once again, there's some resistance with the springs for the arms and a little bit for the legs, but in this particular configuration, there's more assistance with the legs. Now, if I want to make it a little more challenging, say I have an athlete. Let's say I have an athlete who is who's a high jumper. Oh my goodness. So maybe I need to work on being able to high jump. Or maybe they're a swimmer, and they've got to be able to manage their body with control in the water. So there's really just a crazy amount of things you can do with this table. The other interesting little feature here, people always see these fuzzy footholds and wonder, what's this all about? Well, these are very handy for being able to put your feet in them, get a nice little stretch here for the legs. They also can be used, and I'm going to move this out of the way, for more advanced clients. Usually I do use the fuzzies for advanced clients. And we can do more of a upper extremity strengthening series on here. but we can also work on that spine articulation we talked about. So these are some really unique exercises that you wouldn't be able to do in a gym, but that really allow you to have fun with the movement of your body and work a little bit on some strengthening. So that gives you a quick tutorial on literally just a couple things on the machine, so you can see how it could be very simple or something that actually can be more intermediate with that kneeling cat exercise, or something more advanced with the hanging series. So if you'd like any more information, go ahead and go on to ProBalancePT.com. Feel free to email me at info@ProBalancePT.com, or if you have any exercise ideas or questions, go ahead and just send me a message. We look forward to seeing you in the next segment.